this particular campaign, the festive season campaign, we also announced that there were 6 pillars of our approach that were constituting the centerpiece for that campaign. The first pillar was the question of a focus, sort of dedication and activities around aggravated robberies. The second pillar was on the question of border security. The third pillar was generally the issue of law enforcement, particularly with the specific focus on firearms control, liquor, second-hand goods, and safety and sports and recreational events. The fourth pillar was a specific focus, on the question of crime against women, children, and persons with disabilities. The fifth pillar was by-law enforcement. The last pillar, which is the sixth pillar, was on the question of the road safety enforcement. Now, we launched this campaign and we focused on these particular pillars precisely as part of our commitment as a South African Police Service in playing our part in serving the constitution of this democratic state and doing so selflessly and professionally and with a great sense of national pride as a sense of belonging for all of us. And indeed, the South African police members are increasingly seen to be upholding the ethos of our constitution, as well as the Bill of Rights, which essentially is the foundation of our citizenry, but also a pivotal sort of piece in ensuring a service to our citizenry. The South African Police Service also recognizes its pivotal role in healing the wounds of our past and fostering social cohesion and contributing to the stability of our economy. It should also be noted, ladies and gentlemen, that the Constitution defines national security as an all-encompassing to enable people to live in peace and harmony, enjoy equal access to resources and advancement opportunities. You will note in the presentation that will be run by the Acting National Commissioner that a number of crimes in our country, especially during the festive season, do speak to the broader socio-economic challenges of our time. For instance, the question of conduct crimes such as robbery with aggravating circumstances, murder, attempted murder, sexual violence, and domestic violence, among some, they do remain a concerning factor, even during this festive season and beyond, in a sense. And I think that's a fundamental challenge that we've got to tackle as society. Even though the statistics will show that in these areas of conduct crimes, we've also registered quite significant sort of decreases, percentage-wise and so on. However, society, ourselves as South Africans, we still have a challenge to overcome insofar as the issue of conduct crimes is concerned. So is the abuse of alcohol, drugs, and other substances, and particularly because they tend to be variables that feature prominently in the conduct crime incidents. And in line with just on the highlights, in line with the 6 pillars, over the festive season, we conducted 705,639 policing operations, in which we arrested 83,479 persons. And during the same period, the period under review, we recovered 1,060 firearms with 8,691 rounds of ammunition. We also conducted 2,443,886 searches across the country. We also recovered 669 vehicles. Now, a large quantity and variety of drugs were also seized in this particular period. For an example, in the Western Cape, on the 18th of November 2016, a drug dealer was arrested with 31,000 Menrex tablets. And insofar as the issue of border security, we received very interesting sort of feedback from the northern parts of KZN, in other words, the borderline between South Africa and Mozambique, that our operations there, which were joint efforts, brought so much relief to the citizens as we reduced the incidences of car hijackings and car and stolen cars crossing over into Mozambique, as well as stock thefts. Despite the road warring carnage, we held various operations in many parts of the country that left also a mark. Now, this particular success that we will also be running yourselves through this in this particular session is as a result of the collaborative efforts among the country's law enforcement agencies, crime intelligence, state security agency, DPCI, uniformed members of the South African Police Service, and others, of course, in ensuring that we had to secure our citizenry as well as visitors in our country. But also, what we seem to be getting, which is quite an interesting development as well for us as the South African Police Service, and I think for South Africa as a whole, is the role that community members are also playing in bringing to the fore most of these particular incidences of crime and working together with us as the South African Police Service. But also the work of our 5,000 members, newly recruited members of the South African Police Service that we had deployed at major malls countrywide, yielded quite a significant amount of results. For an example, between the 1st of December and the 29th of December, in particular, in Gauteng, with our 47 malls, there wasn't a single incident of crime reported over that particular period. So in a period of about a month, you had you had no incidences of crime reported in these particular malls in particular. We would also like to take this opportunity to thank members of the media for the support that they've also given to the South African Police Service over the festive season. And that support has been in the form of generally the dissemination of information around police work, as well as heightened levels of visibility on the side of the police that were then presented by the media to the South African public. I would then ask the Acting National Commissioner to take us through the detail of the categories of crime and how we actually actually performed over the festive season. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Thanks, Minister. First, for the leadership that you continue to provide to us in the work that we are doing, but also in being there during periods like the safer festive season operations on the ground, continuing to interact with our communities and ensuring that we deliver on our mandate. I also, before I go into the presentation, would want to express my appreciation to the leadership of the South African Police Service, the members of the service, and their families who managed over this period to support us and ensure that we deliver on the program that we were pursuing. I can't go on without remembering those of our colleagues who unfortunately had run their race and passed away, either being killed by criminals or having lost lives. Today, at the Tshwane Academy, we are hosting the memorial service of the late Major General Tokwe, who will be buried this coming Saturday. All these members contributed to the successes that we have achieved, not only during this festive season period, but with their commitment, we are able to gain some ground in the work that we are doing. The Minister have already touched on some of the issues. I'll go to some areas. Let me not focus on the overview of the presentation, rather firstly on our operational and deployment methodology. The Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster reaffirmed its commitment to achieving outcome 3, which is all people in South Africa are and feel safe, by going beyond the call of duty to safeguard society in fighting crime during the festive season and ensuring overall stability in the country by managing all service delivery protests, the Feast Must Fall campaign, and political gatherings and protest actions. An interdepartmental approach coordinated by the National Joint Intelligence and Operational Structure was followed. Duration of our festive season operation, 1st October, and the report we are presenting is up to the 31st of December. That operation is still continuing. We looked, amongst others, at factors impacting on the festive season operations. 1, festive season shopping and entertainment. We know that far too many people go to the malls. Increased movement of large sums of money. Cash demand, driving sale.
We're going to come out of those live visuals at the press conference there between the Police Minister, Nhleko, and the Acting Police Commissioner. They're just giving us feedback on the festive season operations, number of policing acts, number of arrests, number of guns recovered, as well as searches carried out and vehicles that were recovered that might have been stolen.